Ooh. What's going on, everybody? Tom here at Utopia. I'm not in my office, my studio, as that's usually where I do these streams. But I thought, oh, why not? Put my son down for his nap. So it's probably best to do things downstairs because I'm going to be yapping. I'm going to be talking about Godzilla, about kaiju, stop motion, and such. So I thought, it's probably best to just do this, further away so my son can have, the space and quiet to catch up on his nap time, all that stuff, Parenting. There it is. So it's going to be a pretty chill stream. I mean, I thought we could talk about the Titan Force scene I released earlier today, basically like the Toku Vengers, where instead of the Avengers, we have like some of the most recognizable, most popular giant monster characters from the kaiju tokusatsu genre. I'm going to get into talking about the significance of this project, how long I've been working just on this, the assemble scene itself, then getting into some other future projects that are in the works that we're going to be seeing some updates for here in the next couple weeks. And, might have time to talk about just whatever is going on with, in the Godzilla world. We got Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, coming out on my birthday. You're welcome. It's a big gift. Thought I'd share it with the world. So, there's a lot to talk about. So, whatever anybody really wants to talk about, if you guys have stuff you want to ask, any questions, or, just coming in to say hi, how are things, feel free. I put as much thought into this stream as I did with my coffee here. It's just coffee with some creamer. That's it. So, talking about Titan Force. So I went through a lot of different names for this ensemble of tokusatsu icons. I originally was thinking about calling this Toku Vengers. And while I liked the sound of that, I also kind of felt like it didn't really do the project justice. It didn't really seem like it would click or stick, as you were. So I thought about it more and more, and ultimately thought, okay, Titan Force sounds really awesome. It kind of gets the point across about what sort of team this is, what they're here to do, and such. But it was really fun to think about which characters I wanted to use for this roster, because it's no small feat, trying to assemble the most recognizable, most popular names in kaijudom, right? And I also didn't want to just do kaiju. I wanted to have a nice, healthy, I'd say a nice blend. Make it very, just add some versatility to it all. So I thought about, obviously, let's cover the ones that are obvious, like Godzilla, Shuen, of course. I thought Gamera should definitely be part of this roster. And then after that, it became okay, I think in light of the MonsterVerse and Kong's a renewable sense of presence, he's becoming, I think, not only is he instrumental, I think he's benefited the most from the MonsterVerse. I say Kong has become the Titan protagonist that audiences can generally get behind. We can empathize with Kong more than any other character Titan in the MonsterVerse. My opinion, of course. So I thought Kong should be in. And then we wanted to do more than just kaiju, more than just giant monsters. But who better? Who's like the best anti-kaiju fighter? Whose literal job is it to save the Earth from rogue kaiju, from bad kaiju? And obviously Ultraman. And I thought I debated briefly about which Ultraman to use, the OG Ultraman, or Ultraman Tiga, or Ultraman Nexus. I have action figures for all three. The Nexus figure is pretty awesome, but you've seen in some other projects I've done, like for Ultraman Day a couple years back. But it's not the best figure for this sort of thing. I still plan on using it for other projects, but definitely could be a little bit more polished up. I just think Ultraman Nexus needs to be shown way more respect, and we need to see. It would be cool Mezco Toys tackle Ultraman Nexus in the future. But there's another figure that I have that's for Ultraman Tiga that's just as good as the Mezco Toys Ultraman. But I also felt like it's just best to just use, I think, the most recognizable version of the character. And the Mezco Toys Ultraman is just a phenomenal figure. I should do a review on it. It's extremely good. So I thought Ultraman, the OG, Shoo-in, kind of the Captain America of the team. If this team has a leader, it would be Ultraman. Which brings me, I guess, to who could very well be the Nick Fury of the group, Mothra. Mothra, I thought, was another. I don't want to say obvious, but she is she's one of the most recognizable faces in all of the kaiju genre. She's a household name. She's Mothra, of course. I have a couple Mothra figures, some that I haven't been able to use yet for some stop motion projects that I'm excited about using, hopefully soon. But I thought, obviously, the Heisei Mothra SH Monster Arts one was the right approach. But anyone who's familiar with stop motion, who has worked at great lengths, going to adjust my setup here in just a second. There's my microphone. Maybe that's easier. Not sure if everyone can hear me okay, but it is what it is. Mothra, like any other flying kaiju figure, is extremely difficult to use. I released at the very end of the Titan Force video, I provided a VFX breakdown of the assembling scene. However, I did show how I utilize the effects for the Gauss, which is the big bad evil army the Titan Force is sent basically squash, right? Gauss was not too difficult to use stop motion for. I didn't really do too much stop motion for Gauss is the thing. You just got to understand what sort of scene, what sort of effect you want to do, and it all kind of comes together pretty well. But anyway, more on that later. But Mothra, I felt like was an absolute must-have. Even though I think, if memory serves, she was the last addition to the team when I was doing the storybook, the planning stage for all this back in September of 2023. And then we come to the last two. I thought we need a Mecha Godzilla, and what better than the soul of Chokogin? I'm sure I said that wrong. Kuryu Mecha Godzilla figure, which is arguably the best figure ever for any kaiju character. I kid you not. This figure is just so. I feel like I am literally taking the actual the suit of what they use for the movies themselves, and I have access to something that just looks so authentic, so lifelike. It's just yet another thing I should do a review on, right? If I start doing more kaiju toy reviews again, that would be great. But Kiryu is my favorite Mecha Godzilla. I love them all, and everybody has their own favorite. Like I have a massive soft spot for the Showa Mecha Godzilla. I love the MonsterVerse one. Still waiting for Haya Toys to give us like the best possible Mecha Godzilla figure, and then you'll see MonsterVerse Mecha Godzilla more and more in my products. I promise. But I felt like Kiryu was the best, most logical choice. I mean, Heisei would have been another good one. But I felt like Kiryu was more in line with the sort of direction I was going. He felt more like a superhero kind of Mecha Godzilla, if that makes sense. And finally, we come to Gypsy Danger, the resident Jaeger from the Pacific Rim franchise. Pacific Rim, easily one of the greatest kaiju films ever made, bar none. And Gypsy Danger felt like I absolutely have been waiting for years to use my Soul of Chokugin Gypsy Danger figure. You've seen her pop up a couple times. She's shown up in like my Secret Monster Santa video from years back. She showed up not too long ago in a couple other projects here and there, but I mean, she appeared in a cameo for Godzilla Apocalypse Now. She was basically dead, destroyed, scrapped metal. So I thought, oh man, I really need to use her more and more. And I want to definitely, I imagine her just kicking so much Gauss ass in this project, in this video. So I just imagine her and Kong like back to back fighting off like hordes of Gauss trying to like come in and just rip them to shreds, and so much potential. And that's the point. Like this project has so much potential, and I understand some might be disappointed that I didn't like release the entire video, the entire movie. I'm sorry to tell you, I know it might be disappointing to hear this, but there is no whole movie. It does not currently exist. What I released earlier is currently all I have, and I've been working on it since September. This is literally taking me like several months, like 5 months to finish, and I don't feel like I've even started, right? So like usually for these projects, and I prepare meticulously, like months in advance, to the point where when we factor in stop motion, filming and post production, like the editing and all that, I can get some of these projects finished in like maybe anywhere from a month to 3 months, and I can give you maybe a 3-5 minute fun video. Most of these projects of mine are not like 5 minutes, but I could do it. But this project, this sequence of the Titans assembling, was like one of the hardest things I've ever made. Probably the hardest VFX shot that I've ever worked on by myself. And I learned so much doing it. And I recorded like a more in-depth VFX breakdown of this. I might release it, but it's just really long. It's like a 40-50 minute long VFX breakdown where I go into more detail. And some of you might find that interesting. So maybe if I have time in the next week, I'll release it, just because it's something that I enjoyed doing, and I learned a lot. And in the video itself, in that VFX breakdown, out kind of like, okay, here's some of the things that I really wish I did instead. So that's something I would, keep in mind for like a potential follow-up. But understand the reason why I released the scene of the Titans assembling. It's in order to gauge your interest, in order to see, is this the sort of thing you want to see more of? I mean, I could do polls, and I've done that in the past where I talk about briefly, I talk about like, this is what kind of projects do you want me to do, or what are you more interested in? And most of you predictably wanted to do stop motion projects. Just a second, I gotta go turn something off. All right, all right. Sorry about that. It seems like every time you want to do something, especially downstairs, there's always something going off. There's always something going on in this house. So, most of you talked about um, wanting more stop motions, and that's definitely what is the bread and butter of the channel. That's what I'm most passionate about. But even though it's something that I'm the most passionate about, and I'm always going to be doing stop motion, I have ideas that's going to last. That I feel obligated to follow through on. That's going to take me years. I mean, we have so much more to do, but I can't do only stop motion. I can't just do that the entire time. I have to focus on other things that make me a passionate Godzilla fan. There's a lot of more topics that I feel like I have something that I could articulate, that I can add to sort of growing conversations that I'm sure many of you have thought about or seen. And like I said earlier, I might be doing more toy reviews here soon enough. I have other video ideas that I just need to get to, and this Titan Force Assemble project, again, it took like this was almost just itself, the entirety of them assembling, coming together. It was like nearly a 20-second total nonstop shot of them, of me messing with the camera perception, the perspective, but all the Titans coming together and using their signature attacks and such. All that took 5 months, and for like 20 seconds. The first beginning shot of the Gauss swarm, gobbling up people and eating and firing sonic beams at a destroyed city and stuff. That took me not that much time at all, to be fair. It still ended up looking great, which is fine, but like that didn't take much. And of course, the big reveal of who is the big bad of the story. And some of you were thinking it would have been Destroya, who would have been a great choice. And I wouldn't rule Destroya appearing in the future, being a potential antagonist to the Titan Force. But it's Iris, and I thought that made the most sense because Iris is, to me, and while there's no source material, nothing that I know of that suggests that Iris could control the Gauss if he wanted to. I figured since he's like the mutated Gauss, he's arguably the most powerful version of a Gauss. Even though I wouldn't technically, if I would still treat Iris as a separate thing. I could totally see this guy, this old tentacle face, Squidward here, achieving dominant status, becoming kind of like the alpha of the Gauss, and basically telling them what to do. And Iris, I kind of like. I think he's kind of like Loki in the first Avengers movie. Loki is not the most powerful being. Well, maybe now he is. Spoilers, but back then, I mean, Thor could beat him. Hulk could beat him. Iron Man, I'd give a 50-50 shot at beating him. So almost the heavy hitters of the original, the OG Avengers squad could take Loki on. But what Loki may have lacked in, say, firepower, in just strength, he made up for through ruthlessness, being cunning, being a master manipulator, having an army that threatened to unravel the entire state of the planet. Like that sort of thing makes a huge difference. And Iris, to me, I don't think Iris could win against like the heavy hitters like Godzilla or Ultraman. I mean, it's 50-50 between him and Gamera. I mean, Iris, I think, was still winning against Gamera in the movie, but I think Iris could maybe beat someone like Kong or Gypsy Danger against Kiryu. Who knows? That could go either way. But what makes Iris truly threatening here is the fact that he's kind of like a vampire of sorts. He can not only not only like siphon your energy, your plasma. He can siphon your and copy your abilities, your very power set. So I imagine over time, as he's using the Gauss to keep most of the Titan Force preoccupied, Iris can like just ambush these guys when they're at their weakest and take their powers and just become a super kaiju near the end of the story. So that's kind of like what I have in mind for Iris. He's still formidable as just himself at a base level. And of course, given that he has four extremely ludicrously long tentacles, he can engage multiple titans at once and hold his own. But the fact that he can over time weaken them by siphoning their energy and taking their, copying their powers, like imagine him like draining Gamera and Godzilla simultaneously and creating like taking Gamera's fireball, Godzilla's atomic breath, and fusing these two attacks together like an atomic nuclear charged fireball blast or something like that. And because the plot calls for it, there's still going to be so much more Gauss to contend with. It's not like they're cannon fodder either. I mean, one thing I wish I had more time to do was showing kind of more of a skirmish between the Titan Force and Gauss, which is still in the works. That's exactly what I want to do. When, in the end, they're all firing their signature weapons, I want to show you guys what's happening to the Gauss. Some of them are dodging the attacks. Some of them are getting blown to smithereens. Others are retaliating. We see Kong jump off screen. We see Gypsy Danger charge into battle. We're going to see where that goes. Eventually, the Titan Force will separate, and, we might see them use combo attacks here and there, but just because Gauss are, a single Gauss is weak, comparatively speaking, to the Titan Force themselves, doesn't mean they are unthreatening. They're still dangerous, highly dangerous. And a single Gauss can tip the scales, for the forces of evil. So there's a lot to do. There's so much. And so far, it looks like the response is pretty good. I mean, it seems like many of you like this. And I'm assuming more of you would love to see this story expanded upon. Like, what happens next? How are the Titans going to contend with the Gauss? How are they going to contend with Iris? Are there other threats going on? I mean, if we're following the Avengers playbook, I mean, technically, this is just like phase one, right? This doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of where this can go. But I really didn't want to like start work, dedicated another 5 months to, showing all the Gauss getting attacked and retaliating and having quick little skirmishes here and there where each Titan gets, a moment to shine, a combo attack, like I said earlier. Like Ultraman wielding Kong's axe, for example. Maybe Mothra creating like a massive reflective pollen cloud, and Godzilla, Gamera, Gypsy Danger, they fire their attacks inside, and it's like a maelstrom of energy that just annihilates a Gauss horde. Kuryu's absolute zero cannon. Maybe you didn't notice this, but he fires it in this short. I want imagine that striking like a whole swarm of Gauss, and they just freeze, and their frozen bones just fall and crash into the earth. That into the streets below. That kind of thing. Yes, yes. But again, that's like a 5-7 month commitment, and I want this channel to thrive. I want to be able to give you guys more, uh, not just more content, but things to to think about and enjoy as much as the rest. It's not just about entertainment, although let's just face it, it kind of is. Nothing wrong with that. But like, so it looks promising so far. I'm gonna be checking in and seeing how you guys respond in the next couple weeks to Titan Force. So far, overall, it seems to be positive. It's receiving a positive reception, and yeah, I could totally see myself maybe around April, May, early summer, really beginning to tackle this project. Speaking of projects, however, here are some future projects that are in the works. Obviously, I've been talking about Gamera 4, Herald of Mothra, for quite a while now. It's the storyboard's been finished. I have almost every sort of shot, background, asset ready and primed. I just need to do the stop motion and get moving on that. But here's the thing. Technically, Titan Force kind of started becoming a bit like what I had already planned for Gamera 4 Herald of Mothra. So it's kind of funny because now I'm like, okay, we're going to be doing a lot of gas stuff, huh? I mean, in many respects, both of these projects have helped me kind of think about how I'm going to use Gauss a lot more, how to animate Gauss, not for these projects, but for future ones in mind. So, yeah, I might have to once again postpone Gamera 4 because I feel like I'm gonna have to choose in the near future which big project to dedicate more time to. So who knows? I'll keep you guys posted on that one. I'm sure many of you have seen Godzilla King of the Monsters. One of the most memorable shots is the one where Godzilla rises out of the water after being revived from Serizawa's nuclear bomb. That whole thing. So I want to do a VFX stop motion recreation of that scene of Godzilla rising out and looking at the little humans on the submarine. But the catch is that instead of normal humans, ordinary humans, I'm going to replace them with extraordinary, extremely recognizable characters from movies, TVs, anime, and such. And they're going to have their own lines and stuff. It's going to be fun. I've storyboarded this one like crazy, and I'm really excited about working on this one here shortly. So that'll likely be maybe not the exact next stop motion project, but one that I hope to get started on in March, maybe looking for a April release for that one. I want to do a couple Godzilla -1 projects. I got my -1 SH Monster Arts figure. It's extraordinary, extremely well detailed, well crafted. So I have two projects in mind for that. One will be about the Oscars. Godzilla -1, to those of you who don't know, was nominated for Best Visual Effects. I believe strongly that it's going to win. So I want to make a stop motion tribute to that. I also want to do one with Godzilla -1 meeting legendary Godzilla. So many of you, I'm sure, don't know this, but I made a legendary Godzilla -1 Goji meme a while back, and I'm going to actually make a whole stop motion based on that. It's going to be funny. It's my attempt at comedy. So it'll probably be, okay. But, I don't know when I'm going to work on that one just yet. I still want to work on Godzilla versus Batman. Godzilla versus Batman, I've been working on for probably 2 years now. I mean, I released, what was it? Part 2, part 3 recently? Yeah, it was part 2. But I just combined 1 and 2 together. just for those of you who didn't see the first part. In that story, Batman is trying to save what remains of Gotham, but we're finding out slowly that there's more at work here than just Godzilla deciding he's going to raise Gotham to the ground, which he's almost done, by the way. But we're finding out that there's another character, another player on the field who's been manipulating the events from the beginning. So we're going to explore that more. The big reveal at the end of Batman versus Godzilla Part 2 is that Batman has a giant anti-kaiju mech. So I'm gonna have a field day with that one. That's gonna be so much fun. I got that planned. I'm gonna probably get to that one maybe later in the year. I know it's kind of like not really it's not the most popular stop motion project I've been working on as of late, but I'm loving it. It's fun, and I have more stories to tell. There are more parts. So part 3 will basically involve Godzilla fighting the giant bat mech, and then we'll probably work on part 4, which will either come out next year or the year after. I don't know. Depends. But that'll end up being the final part to that series. There's another big project I'm hoping to work on here, and the reason why I'm extremely hesitant right now to fully commit to the next to going all in on Titan Force is because there's a little project that I storyboarded that I've been contemplating for quite some time that, well, if everything works out, I might be able to work on it this summer, and it would be Godzilla versus Superman. Currently thinking about calling it Godzilla v Superman: Dawn of Monsters. I'm sure some of you get where you know what I mean, where I'm going with the title here. And that project would be pretty. It was originally, I've been dreaming about doing a Godzilla Thor video for years now, but honestly, that's kind of shifted now. And I thought, well, Superman's cooler. I like Superman more. Yeah, why not? I'll probably be doing that one here in the next coming months as well. So currently in order, the next stop motion project will be a Godzilla -1 Oscar little tribute. Shouldn't take me too long to work something up. And then I'm going to start a MonsterVerse Godzilla Rises King of the Monsters kind of tribute. And then after that, it's debate time. Either by then I should be able to fully assess how Titan Force went, how it was received, what's the reception like. And either I go all in on that, and that's going to take me from spring probably till the end of the summer, assuming I don't take any breaks working on other content, which, spoiler, I probably will. That could take who knows how long, because I'm already imagining the fight between the Titan Force themselves versus the Gauss is kind of its own thing, and it doesn't even begin to come close to the final battle against Iris, which, those of you who don't know, the Iris SH Monster Arts figure is extremely detailed, super fragile, and kind of, complex, and that would take a long time to work with. So I don't even think I'd finish it by the end of summer, to be fair. And that's assuming I have all the free time, like I dedicate all my time to it. But let's just face it. I mean, if so many people want to see it, and I know a lot of you probably would, that's enough to incentivize me to just suck it up and make it happen. Let's just be blunt. But I just need to see that. This is one of those few projects where, like, No, I really, really need to see that so many of you like are just wanting this project, and then I am like, I'm all in. That's good enough for me. Such a lovely background to it. Let's see. After that, here's one other reason. I'm just going to share this with you right now. One big reason why I'm really kind of trying to see how the reception is for this plays out. How your everyone's feedback is crucial to whether or not I prioritize, Titan Force as a whole. Like I decide to green light whether or not I'm going to like go all in on this big project. And the reason why is because a couple of months back, several, in fact, back in October, I released the Halloween tribute, which was actually a secret preview trailer of an upcoming project I can't wait to work on, which is Godzilla X Gamera, with a more supernatural like twist. It's like the GMK Godzilla taking on the Heisei Gamera with the ghost of Dr. Sarazawa caught in the crossfire. And there's a whole thing to that I think I've been meaning to do my own Godzilla versus Gamera project for years. It seems like every stop motion artist, every kaiju Godzilla fan film artist creator, it's like a rite of passage. You have to do your own Godzilla Gamera project eventually, right? Or did I say the quiet part out loud, or am I like just tripping balls here? But like, I don't want to just do Godzilla versus Gamera show up and fight each other. I mean, that's fun, that's great, and that's arguably that's good enough. But like for me, I wanted to do something more, and I it took me a while, but I figured out an actual plot that really sold it for me. So Godzilla X Gamera, final title pending. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about calling it Godzilla X Gamera Final Destination, given the strong horror sort of themes I'm going with. That's slated for October of this year, and I know for a fact if I want it done ready on time or near October, even if it comes out later in November, I'm going to have to work on that most likely during the summer. So that complicates things, right? Because I want to do all these other projects. But the reason why I brought up Godzilla X Gamera is because the reception for that was not really, it was underwhelming. I was expecting it to, I don't know if YouTube just did a terrible job at like letting my subscribers know that that video is out, or I just did a terrible job at giving it a title, or the thumbnail was bad, or what. But the reception wasn't what it didn't really reach, in my opinion, the bare minimum of it would be, what I need in order to really decide I'm going to put everything in to this project. So that kind of made me a bit nervous and made me now kind of like, okay, I really need to think about how these videos, how these projects need to be handled, because I don't want to like just assume this is something. I mean, first and foremost, I make these projects for me. That number one, it's got to be for me. It's got to be something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy doing, that I'm excited to do. And the whether or not others really like it or not, I do think that's important. It's not like my top concern, but it's still a big one. It's still, when it comes to prioritizing the success of the channel itself, that's where I factor in how other people, the reception of my subscribers and viewers, even if you're a subscriber, non-subscriber, I factor in pretty much how everyone seems to, respond to these projects. But the fact that not many people were interested or seemed to even know about the Godzilla Gamera little teaser I released back in October kind of made me go, okay, well, I really need to make sure for now on, before I, you know, promise, I release, it's a release date. Like this is something that I'm committed to, and I don't want to commit myself to a project that not many people are interested in when it takes me so much time and effort to make. I mean, it's great that it's just for me, but I'm also now trying to grow this channel. So I'm probably, I don't feel like I'm being a great communicator about this right now, but I hope this makes sense. Like, there's so much to factor in here, and I really don't want to I don't want to spend several months on a project, even if I personally think it's great and that's wonderful, and even as long as I enjoy doing it, that's why part of the reason why I'm doing this. But I would be remiss. I would be completely like, I would be lying if I said I don't care what anyone else thinks. Why am I on YouTube? Why am I sharing this content, this channel, like with other people? Like, I value, what my subscribers think. I value the ideas, the feedback, the constructive criticism I've received over the years. It's extremely important to me. So, you know, I'm trying to explore more ways on how to figure out what other people, what my subscribers care about, so that I can deliver. Because chances are any project you see me do, I can, like, 99.9% of the time, I'm passionate about and I'm having a good time, right? I'm enjoying it. So at least, hey, as far as checklists go, we got that part. That there's that bullet point. We could check that part off. Tom is passionate about it. He's having a great time. The next part is making sure you guys are entertained, that you're having a good time. I think Godzilla X Camera Final Destination would be just a breath of fresh air. I don't think like there's ever been any project like it, especially for, the kaiju genre, for the kaiju fan film subgenre, whatever we want to call it. And it's not going to be a terribly long movie either. I feel like it'll have a pretty good pace to it, maybe like around 4 or 5 minutes ish, but not too shabby. But you never know. Could be longer. We'll find out. But there is a chance that, despite saying, "Hey, I want this. This is going to be released October 2024." Obviously, if I'm working on Titan Force, or I'm working on Godzilla v Superman, or I'm working on another project that I've decided that I should work on, like Gamera 4, Herald of Mothra, or maybe something else comes along that I haven't even thought of yet, or that I have, but I forgot about it. It happens. I have a whole big list right here in front of me. You can't see it, but there's a whole list of all these other stop motion projects that I want to do. And then there's a list of other video projects that I want to do. So, yeah, I guess it's okay if I have to like delay something. Okay, I said it would come out around this time, but I might have to delay it just because. But, you know, um, yeah. So as far as future projects go, this year is booked. As far, just for the stop motion element. Um, I would love to be able to do this full time someday. So fingers crossed, that these projects continue to garner more reception, more people notice them. You guys obviously are great, and I can't thank all the people enough who've helped me over the years, been very positive, who've just, you know, you guys are the best. This I couldn't I could not do this without you. And yeah, so we'll see if Titan Force continues on this year. It's not about. I don't want anyone to misunderstand me here. It's not about. It's not a matter of if Titan Force continues. It's when. And I'm the kind of person who wants to strike while the iron is hot. And if there's so many people that love this project, like I wake up tomorrow and hey, there's so many more people who've have been introduced to my channel or who haven't noticed that I've updated that much, and this is the first project video they've seen of mine in a while, and this is great. I want more, Tom. That's exactly all I need. And that's going to be more than enough to get me to be like, okay, we're going to go back to the store process. We're going to prep this and I'm going to really think about how I'm going to make this everything it could be and more. Oh man, what else we got? I think we're good on Titan Force as far as future projects go, or I should specify future stop motion projects go. We got that done. Um, I I guess the last thing to worth discussing would just be like, hey, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, coming out on March 29th, my birthday. I'm gonna go see it. It looks fun. Trailer 2 dropped. I didn't do a reaction video or anything, kind of like the first time with my son, because my son, he's a huge Kong fan. He loves Kong, loves dinosaurs, the whole thing. I mean, who can blame him, right? It just means he has true tastes in culture right there. But like when the trailer came out, the second one, sorry, there's no reaction. I would love to have made like a cool breakdown video of cool things that I noticed, but I do not have that time. I don't have that free time, that luxury. I mean, if many of you wanted that, cool. I would have to transfer my stop motion time, the editing, all of that towards this other thing. And I'm already going back and forth as it is. It didn't help that for the past week, like a week ago, I was deathly sick. Like I came down with the stomach flu that left me near hospitalized, bedridden for like 3 days. So, that kind of slowed things down. Full recovery. I'm fine now. But, that was not fun. But along with other things, full-time job, I'm a full-time dad, got other stuff, priorities. Many of you thankfully understand that and have been super supportive of that as well. So it's just one of those things where you want more stop motion, you want longer stop motion videos. I want more stop motion. I want longer stop motion videos. I want to put in the time to do it because I enjoy this. It's fun. It's my thing. But it's not a priority. It's not the priority. It's not the kind. I can't prioritize it just yet. But I would love to. I would love to prioritize doing this, making stop motion projects all the time. That would be great. And the good news is we're on track for that. It's not something that I could see myself doing in like the next year or two. But slowly we're making the kind of progress where I think this is something that is feasible further down the line. But hey, you never know unless you keep going. Hey, Cowman Animates, what's up? Hi, Kaijutopia. Loved Titan Force, and I'm excited to see what it's a part of. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I can't wait to get, going on it more. Not sure if you heard parts of the stream or not, or if you just joined. Cool. As far as Titan Force goes, the continuing it, it's just a matter of seeing how many people like yourself respond to it. How is it doing? Is it sorry, I just joined. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. This was like There was no premeditation in this stream. I just after putting my son down for his nap, I'm like, let's just talk. Let's just go for it. So don't worry about it. Thank you for coming in. I was just talking about it, it all largely depends on how people respond to the video because it is just a, it's not even a short movie. It's a it's just a scene, like a kind of a proof of concept of a bigger project. And I explained this in the original video as well, with before going into the VFX breakdown component. But so far, the reception's been pretty good. You guys seem to like it a lot. And again, it's not a matter of if I'm going to make more Titan Force videos; it's when. Now, will that be like a series? Am I going to just have the next one be just what happens when the Titan Force fight the Gauss swarm? And then that could be its own thing. And then maybe I do Titan Force takes on Iris. And then beyond that point, who knows? All I know is it's going to be long. It's going to be a very long editing stop motion process that could take several months, maybe even longer. Because again, I can't like make this my priority, but that's okay. It's still fun, still something that I am quite proud of, and I'm happy that you liked it. I mean, what a what a dream come true, right? I mean, all this talk about multiverse stuff, crossovers, just seeing like some of our favorite giant monster characters, our favorite like tokusatsu icons sharing the same screen. Like I really wanted to make sure that that looked awesome, and not everything worked out the way that I would have liked. Or now I kind of have a better idea on how I would do it, but there's just so much more I want to do, and there's just a lot of like really crazy action sequences I have in mind that I'm sure many of you would love. But you know, um, we got time, right? We've got time. But unless Titan Force Guardians Assemble suddenly breaks box office numbers, I can't. I'm not going to move it to my next project spot quite yet. You never know that if that changes, or if so many of you are like, Tom, please, we need to know what happens next. Share that. Like, let your voices be heard. Please scream it from the mountaintop, and I will. Like, I take your comments very seriously. I take your advice seriously and to heart, and I'm going to do everything I can to deliver, because if anything, one of the very few things in life that I am not fond of is like squandered potential. So, uh, if this, I think this project is very promising, and it could be the jumpstart to a whole new series. It will be funny to see like 3 years or 5 years from now, if like Titan Force Part 7 or something, where it's like Endgame, where we're seeing like 20, 30 good monsters show up and taking on an army of bad ones or something. And I'm like, yeah, this is like became my gravy. This became like the main attraction to the channel. And it's what everyone wants, makes everyone happy. I'm happy to do it. Then cool, right? But it all the next few days, weeks will really help me see, the sort of path that I can take, that I can realistically manage. And then in time, you know, it might become the stuff of legends. We got Spy Kids for all the time in the world. Yeah, in a way, you're wrong. Um, I think that's kind of the I guess the biggest benefit to just being a small channel is that like I don't feel like I'm burdened. Sometimes I like trip over myself and have imaginary burdens just because I have high expectations for what I feel like I need to do. But like, I'm a small channel. It's not like everybody is just waiting for like, what's the next Kaijutopia stop motion? It's like, just take your time, right? Okay. And when you're ready, it'll be here. And I get that. But I still kind of like a part of me still wants it now, right? So, but you, as much as anyone understands, it just takes these sort of projects are so time consuming. And it's just going to take it's going to take a while to get to that point. And I can't wait. I mean, there's there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to do. Not even Titan Force. I mean, there's just other projects that I can't wait for you guys to see. But I'll be revealing within the next few weeks to the next month just to give you an idea of what to expect. But I guess the next thing I'll just say briefly before we end this stream because we're uh, approaching an hour now. But one thing that I really want to do is learn how to balance myself more because I want to do more content, not just stop motion, but I want to reach a point where I can just bounce back and forth comfortably. Because when I'm right in the middle of a stop motion project, I hate the idea of having to suddenly stop what I'm doing and just go towards like, I'm going to do a comic book review, which I have a couple that are in the works that I need to get to because I want to. But what I'm trying to say is that's a lot easier to do if I'm not in the middle of a massive stop motion project. But then, honestly, when I'm in the middle of a project, it's hard to just switch over. Obviously, if I had more time, that would be more manageable. I could, adapt faster, I'm sure. But, hey, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I hope you like Titan Force. If you want to see more, if you want to see the Titans assemble to take on Gauss, the Shadow of Evil, and seeing what happens between the Titan Force team against Iris and beyond, please just let me know. Leave a comment, be like, hey, I really like this. I wish it was longer, but like I totally get it. But like I want to see what happens, Tom. This is the right step to take. Just share your thoughts. Don't don't worry. Just be you and just tell me what you really think, and we'll manage. We'll deliver. Sorry if I don't talk much. My internet's being buggy, and I'm trying to get it up and running again. Oh, no need to be sorry. It's totally cool. Unless anyone had any questions or anything else, and I'll give this a few more minutes. I was just thinking about ending the stream, but if anyone really wanted to chime in, now's the time. I got my coffee. It's Saturday. My son is napping. The house is managed. I am just going to chill and enjoy the rest of my weekend, as the rest of you did as well. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. You're the best. And I appreciate every single one of you. I wish you the best of days. Have a good rest of your time. And we'll see each other later. Bye.